Okay, so I did this video on my Facebook. I was really drunk when I did this. I'm gonna point out something now. Since my family has made it obvious that they have been sex trafficking me, um, I sound crazy when I say it, but if you actually think about it, it actually makes sense. And every asshole I keep running into, um, I recently kind of spilled my guts to somebody a little bit, and I didn't intend to. I think it had to do with them. Um, because I know, like, my videos are like a safe place because you're gonna mock me no matter what, but I don't have to hear it. I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to deal with you being an asshole to me about it. Um, when it comes to face, if I'm talking about it, people are going to treat me like I'm crazy and I'm out of control and I'm delusional and whatnot, and I'm not. Can I be delusional? Yes. Am I delusional about this? No. I'm dealing with the reality. So on my Facebook, I posted and let people know that even in my childhood, so my birth father's name is Stephen Smith. The first guy I had a crush on, which was when I was a little girl. My birth father said we were like two peas in a pod when I was like 3 years old at our church called Sojourn Church in Carrollton, Texas. It used to be in Addison, Texas. Um, was a boy named Daniel Smith. He himself, from what I remember, what I was told, was adopted as well from Romania. Um, but the family that adopted him, their last name was Smith. So my birth father's name is Stephen Smith. Um, I've dated. I've been interested in multiple Stevens. I've dated up until when I found out my birth father's name and my family's last name, multiple Stevens. When I found out my birth father's name, I believe I had already been crushing on another guy named Steven, or thanks to what was supposed to be borderline personality disorder, head over heels for another Steven, as usual. Um, so, these were things designed by them being able to be outside sources to dictate my life because it's sex trafficking, and I told you this before, and I didn't lie in my video about the from child to adult sex trafficking because it is disturbing as fuck. I I'm not lying when I'm saying that um, this technology is out there, and I'm not lying when I'm saying how disturbing it is to know that adults have that much power over a child, and they still walk around saying we're not perverts and pedophiles. Um, they are. Um, with narcissistic personality on all levels, with NPD, you're dealing with delusions of grandeur. Um, delusions of grandeur are what default their reality and their perspective. Now, they can acknowledge that, that's what's going on, but they're going to manipulate around it to feed their needs of what they want. And that feeds their fantasy, which feeds their delusions of grandeur. So I'm a self-mutilator. During this process, it's becoming horrible. You're not going to see all the cuts, scars that I have on my arms. You'd have to be face to face and physically with me to be able to see them. Because one of my really the breaking point where borderline really started to pop out the most, like the biggest, was my relationship in high school my sophomore year with a guy I dated named Matthew Wayne Stanwyck. Matthew Wayne Stanwyck has a sister who has ID. My uncle, who one of his daughters is a problem, and they murdered his son. I didn't lie. Um, when I was staying with them in the 5th grade, and they made some stuff go down while we were there between his son. His son initiated, but it wasn't him, it was them. I sound crazy, I know, but it was them. They even went on a hierarchy of intelligence level to make a mockery of. I almost, in a way, I want to call it like a Romeo and Juliet kind of weird sense where you have two families feuding with abilities or access to something, but at the same time, it all comes down to delusions of grandeur about their shit because they're just absolute idiots about the shit. I mean, even that, even for me, that's like tipping it because they're all on the same ship. They're on the Titanic. The Titanic has hit an iceberg. It will sink eventually. They will sink eventually. Their families will sink eventually. It is what it is. It is a disaster going to happen no matter what. And right now, I am their scapegoat, aka their escape, in their mental minds, which is really sick. Dr. Ramani talked about the dynamic of having the NPD or the narcissistic family dynamic. And my family is pushing for people to understand or think of borderlines as on the same level as narcissistic personality disorder. They are not on the same level. Can they come across narcissistic? Yes. Can they do narcissistic things? Yes. Can anybody do narcissistic things, give or take? Even if you don't have that, if you hit them hard enough, an empathic person, which people talk about them coming out of trauma, means that they undergoed narcissistic personality disorder majorly, more than likely, the superiority, the listen to me my way or the highway kind of level shit. If you push them hard enough, they can come across like they have narcissistic personality or are narcissistic. Those are just the facts. That is just the reality. Those are things that people don't want to pay attention to. I like to believe, like Dr. Fox says, they are very misunderstood. I understand on levels where they talk about, a lot of people talk about when you listen to people that have it and talk about it, those that are being like utterly honest about their shit, it's a reaction, but they're not okay with it. They find themselves deeply ashamed of it. They hate themselves for it. They feel less like a human for it. Those are things that borderlines deal with. The next best that you have to deal with that Dr. Fox talks about is the 3%, and I would say the 3% would be like firing. Like everything seems to just be firing and triggering all the time. That's my idea, the version of the 3% on the level of the spectrum that they are, and to add to it. Because when you have people intentionally making you the scapegoat, even if you were a 3%er, can you imagine the level that they would get on? So I needed to clarify that because people are confusing people. Like Amber Heard, I've already seen pictures of this, and I'm guilty of this, and this has to do with my shit and what I'm going through. And I've always been a Johnny Depp fan, but they did a psychoanalyst on Johnny Depp while he was doing his while they were in court, and he hit, and you only have to hit 5 of the traits to qualify for a personality disorder. Johnny Depp qualifies for narcissistic personality disorder. I don't hate Johnny Depp. I'm not thrilled with his character during his defamation case. I don't like him making fun and poking fun at it. And I feel like, because I've noticed this with my YouTube videos, it's funny. One of my videos where I'm talking about my son and I'm like bawling my eyes out, they captured and this is not YouTube, this is these assholes, picked a moment towards the end of the video and made it the headline photo of the video. And so I look from comparative level from the first video I made to like completely drop dead crazy because I'm bawling my eyes out in the video. But this is at the end of the video, and they do this with several of my videos. And it's really weird. And I think there must be a way that maybe I have to have a computer that I could edit it to fix it, but I'm leaving it up to the technology to do it. Anyways, so I self-mutilate a lot. This is my canvas majority because I don't have to hide it as much because my shirts do. I had an ex-guy friend that I was heavily into. I went on a single date with that I was head over heels with, like, and even then it was like 0 from 100 with him because he is somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, and he knows about them, and he played the game. His name is Steven Romo. From what I recall, he's supposed to be a police officer, and he's a part of a giant sex trafficking group. He messaged me randomly, and I posted it on Facebook, and for like months on hand, I kept hearing from these assholes, from the way they do this, because it's supposed to sound like schizophrenia, did you miss me? He sends me a message specifically saying, did you miss me? Pissed me off beyond all means. So, since I know his piece of shit ass is tuned in, and I know his piece of shit ass knows about it, I went ahead and said, you know what? Fuck. You never knew this side of me. You didn't get to know this side of me. You were a temporary spot here, but you, like all NPDers, cannot help but come back to your fucking junkie fucking level. So I slit my wrist, my arm up in the process, and was screaming and yelling at him in my head. But once again, I sound crazy, but that's how the stupid fucking technology works. People say our technology is not there. A few years ago, who is it? They're overseas. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of them. There is a radio system that somebody from overseas has come out with that can basically like Bluetooth music to your head. That technology exists, and for them to present it to the market now means it has been there for a while. They don't normally just present new technology like this without looking for bugs and whatnot, or looking for positive ways to present it. This technology has been there. Those are safety precautions, and those are also to prevent people from pointing their finger and saying, see, yeah, I mean, you still end up with the see, because I'm doing it right now, but I'm telling you, they have this technology, it's been there, and it's like way worse. I call it hacking the human body. I've had rashes show up, I've had sores show up, my allergies seem to be something coincide with them. My allergy-induced asthma. I used to get shin splints when I ran in junior high, and but figure out why I was getting such bad fucking muscle aches. My mom took me to the doctor, and this is where I'm running into a lot of fucking problems, because I ran into this issue also in the mental health hospital, and I'm going to cover that in a second. My doctor was checking my ankles out, and he said they were deformed in a way. I don't think my ankles are deformed in a way, but because I was a teenager and he was the doctor, I believed him. He said they bent the wrong way, which didn't make sense to me at the same time, but my adopted mother told me that my birth family mother's side came from an ancestral side of shit. as I was growing up. So incest was prominent in their family, which is sick and disgusting in a weird way because the adoptive family I have is dealing on an incestual level with the shit that they're doing. So I know I sound crazy, it makes no sense. But this is a warning. I'm telling you right now that shit exists. So I believe that. I don't believe I have anything that's incestual going on with me and my legs or my ankles. I think I just have ankles that are just ankles. Um, I'm a lot clumsier than I used to be. I was always very clumsy, and that's thanks to them. I'm well known for being able to just walk, and my ankle will do the thing where it caves. And I'm not sure, I highly doubt I'm the only person that you're walking and suddenly your ankle just gives out. And that was supposed to be a joint issue that was causing a displacement with me while I was running long distance for junior high while I was on track or trying to get on track. We were in the off season preparing for track season, and I got shin splints right before tryouts for track season, and it was like every effort I made to get on a team in junior high to like find something because I didn't want to do PE. I knew I could do sports. I'd done sports. I can do sports. Um, I just wanted to belong. I wanted someplace. But swimming ended up being where I landed. Anyways, so since my family has hallmarked the daddy aspect in my life, the other person that they're for like 5 years now been harassing me about is my cousin Stacy that they claim her daddy who was involved in this shit. This motherfucker. So I run away. I'm like 10. And there's this house behind my aunt's old house before they moved to Colorado, and it's not in use. I'm like 8 years old or something like that, and my cousin David Carter, who they killed, my brother David Lebanon, and I don't remember if my cousin Melissa was with us. We go over to explore the house because it's basically abandoned. They have a pool that looks like shit. It's got the green water, could have like something living in it, basically. I specifically remember checking the back door, and the back door was locked because I kind of wanted to explore the house because, you know, I'm a kid, I'm weird, and, you know, whatever. We can get in trouble. Shit happens. We don't know the laws. We're not thinking about that. We're just thinking, you know, you're not, like, supposed to go in the house at the same time. You're like, well, if it's unlocked, it's unlocked. Who cares? Nobody lives here. Anyway, so I run away when I'm like 10 years old. This house's back door is unlocked. I go inside. It has electricity. I don't remember if it has necessarily running water, but there's no water in the toilets, and I didn't know how to turn the water on in the toilets. So we're not going into that. But it has television. It has beds with covers and blankets. And it has this jar of money. So I take some money out of it and I walk. I don't remember if I walked or biked. I think I walked to the Dollar General store when it was still off South Colony over by Page. And I go buy food and shit to eat off of. I'm a kid, so I also look at toys briefly, but I'm like, yeah, I don't have time for this. So I buy food. At least I think they're making me question that one right now, but I'm pretty sure it was just food. It had a microwave in it, so I was able to microwave my food. It had a phone, but nothing I could really make a phone call to. Not that I needed to. So I'm there, and it's starting to get dark. And I, for whatever reason, feel like I need to leave. This is the assholes. This is like the perfect setup for a runaway. Do not get me wrong. At least for 24 hours for somebody who's not like fully committed. And I go to the garage and open it, and I take a bike with my old gymnastics bag. I'm blanking on it because of them. Anyway, so I take this bag and I'm riding down the street and it becomes heavier and heavier and harder to ride the bike. I don't remember if the bike chain broke before I got any further and I just decided the bag was too heavy or not. Either way, I went and hung the bag up at the garbage cans, the dumpsters, over by Kami Elementary. And I don't know where to go. And all I keep thinking is just keep walking and keep walking. And I got pushed to the hotel. I'm a kid. A hotel is going to call the cops if a kid comes in there by themselves, all alone. But here I am. I walk into Comfort Suites and I take a sit down and I'm there for like less than 5 minutes and I'm trying to figure out a plan. But something about it tells me just don't worry about it. Just, I don't know. Like something is going on. My uncle, Brent, shows up, knows I'm there, have no idea how he knows I'm there, doesn't do the whole, oh my God, what are you doing here? What? You're supposed to be at your parents' house. Why are you over here? Any, like, no concerned parent shit. Nothing that gives a fuck shit. He shows up and takes me back to my parents' house. There's, like, almost no conversation. By the way, when we drove past Kami Elementary, my bag had already been stolen. Somebody had already come by and taken it because they knew the bag was there. I don't know if it was a bunch of kids. I don't know. But the bag was gone. It wasn't that long of a time in between, but the bag was already gone. And I remember specifically looking to see if the bag was hanging off the side of the dumpster still. And it was not hanging off the side of the dumpster. It was gone. It was my gymnastics team bag that had my name on it and everything. Anyways, so like I said, my family is like really fucked up on their levels of shit. They're still hiding shit from me, and I think they're lying to a bunch of people about a bunch of shit for excuses for shit. So they are sex traffickers. The way sex trafficking works, the best way, and if you have the level of technology that they have, is make it seem as natural as possible. And that's what they've done. It's pretty fucking disgusting. Anyways, so in honor of my daddies, you know, Jack, Stevens, Wayne. I'm blanking if I finished my, Wayne level of shit, but, Matthew Wayne Stanwyck. Wayne is my uncle and my adoptive family. I'm carving their names into my arm since they own me so much. Steven, which I really needed to do with a P/V. There's Jack, and Wayne, and so many others will go on from there on. But I've tried to kill myself multiple times. That is, I don't know if it's going to go perfectly in focus. That is a deep cut from a laceration following trying to slit my wrist, and it curved the last second. This is just me in pain. You can't really see them, I guess. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Some of the more prominent cuts on shit. This is hard because I'm trying to see that I'm showing it. I've got a nice gash on my leg, but to be completely honest, I have probably about 50 or so gashes on my leg that you can't see prominently on there. These are all things that they put me through. So anyways, this is what it's like to live as a person that's sex trafficked on this level, and they're doing this to other people, and this is what they want for your children. The superior ones, the elites, the geniuses that have access to this technology that are nasty little pieces of shit. They're pedophiles, they're serial rapists, they're murderers. Everybody that they've gotten involved in my shit is an accessory to murder at this point. It means nothing to them because to them they're not going to get charged with it. So who cares if you say it's accessory to murder? I don't care if they kill a kid. I don't give a fuck. My Uncle Brent committed suicide. There's a good chance that he was killed because of them. As part of their ideas on shit. Calling it a sacrifice. He was accused of molesting his daughter. I don't believe he did. But Stacy and her brother like to wield whatever they think fits their narcissistic personality disorder that they keep displaying. Remember, when you're dealing with narcissistic personality disorder, even with NPD, the more educated they are, the more chameleon they are about their shit. If they weren't naturally doing things the way they were for borderline personality disorder before, and now they're trying to put on a big-ass display once they found out about it, and also the sooner you teach them about it so that they can chameleonize it, doesn't mean that they're borderlines. It's just a lie.